Hey everybody, I am so excited to be able to introduce the launch of our Happy Hips program. I know a lot of my clients have been ready for this program and it's time to go, ladies. Let's do this. I always love this saying. A friend of mine who was a yoga instructor always used to say that the pelvis is like our junk drawer. It's the place where we store any emotions or thoughts that we don't quite know what to do with. And I think that that is very true. And I have worked with women for many, many years, and I will say that the majority of us struggle with some kind of hip mobility issues, and those tend to kind of increase as we get older. So whether it be a little bit of hip pain, maybe some butt pain up there in the glutes, or even low back pain, or just that decreased mobility that we tend to get, we all have a little bit of area of improvement that we could do around those hips. And so I think that's why it's been so requested in my clients. One of the biggest issues that I have realized myself, and I see it in the women that I work with, is that most of us women, I'd say about 90% of us, are in what we call an anterior tipped pelvis. So if you look at the middle picture, that is how our pelvis is supposed to be, kind of straight up and down. And then you can see on the first photo where I'm kind of tipped forward, you can see that big old crater out of my low back there. That's how I am naturally, although I've been working on it for several years. That's an anterior tip. And then the posterior tip is the one in the back there, and that I would say only about 10% of my clients actually are in that posterior tip. Actually, it's a little bit more common in men that I've seen. So the problem with that is that when we live in this forward tip pelvis, we have adaptive muscles. So our muscles shorten or lengthen in adapting to that position that they stay in for a long period of time. So what tends to happen is our abdominals get weaker and our hamstrings and glutes also get weak. And then on the flip side, we get tight hip flexors and quadriceps, and we get tight muscles in our back. So we're going to go on a 5-week journey to understand all of the anatomy around the hips and the pelvis and things what we can do to improve the hips and the pelvis. So what are you going to get? If you join me, I would love for you to join me. It's a 5-week program. We're going to run from July 31st to August 31st. I've decided to do some in-person sessions. So it's going to be 5 sessions that are 6 hours total. We're going to work together in small groups to learn how to assess where we are now and look at our progress when we finish. We'll kind of go through the movements in the front to back movements, the side to side movements, and even our rotational and our diagonal movements. So lots to learn and lots to explore there in the hips those ways. You're also going to get a weekly email from me that's going to be fun lessons to help you understand the body and what we're working for, why we're trying to balance out that pelvis, and so those ideal movements. Then you're going to get a weekly email demonstrating the exercises that we want you to work on for that week. And you're going to end up with a whole huge library of exercises that you can do, and you're going to get to keep those at the end. You're also going to get accountability. So I'm here along the way to help you, and I'm also going to pair you with somebody to be your accountability buddy to talk to and kind of stay on track with those exercises. We're also going to do a Facebook group to help keep the communication going and form a network of support. I've run multiple groups throughout my career of exercise and wellness coaching, and this seems to be the most powerful tool that I have. I could really just step out of the way and let those groups enjoy getting to know each other and being support systems for each other. I love the friendships that come out of that. And then last but not least, you are going to be left with a beautiful online library of all the materials that we have discussed, all the education and all the exercise videos, and you're going to have them in one place to keep forever and ever. So here's just a little example of what that online library looks like, and sign up now. I'm going to have just limited spaces. I think that I cannot take any more than 20 people for this. So the cost is $299. It's a 5-week program, and I would love to have you join me. Thanks so much. Call me if you have any questions.